Hey there, and welcome to the Flourish and Health podcast. My name is Stephanie, and I am so glad that you are here. This podcast is brought to you by me. Yes, this is something new I'm trying, but I want to make sure that you know about different opportunities I have available to connect with me or other things. I've stepped into an exciting adventure with a done for you business, and I'm here to tell you it has been so much fun. If you're looking for some extra passive income, this might be the place to go. It is a very simple way to learn, and everything is done for you, so it's super simple, and it's been quite the adventure. I'll put a link in the show notes so that you can find out more about what I've done with this business so far, and it might be helpful to you. So that's it. That's my only little advertisement for today. But let's jump in. Hi, and welcome to the Flourish and Health podcast. My name is Stephanie Book, and I am so glad you are here. My hope is to help others see their life beyond where they currently are right now, move away from places where they feel stuck, and empower them to move into a flourishing life. Together, we will learn to recognize our true identity in Christ and apply a reframed mindset to combat the lies that we've been believing about ourselves. We will walk the journey of flourishing in our health, in mind, body, and our connection with God. I'm so excited to walk this journey with you as we create new habits of thinking and turn toward a life that is flourishing. I used to think that I was too old to ignite my passions. I thought once I was full on mom mode, there was no room for growth or change from what I thought was just how it was. If you've been with me at all, you know that much of my life changed when I stepped into my health and wellness journey. I started to learn about those doubts and fears, and that they were just lies or negative soundtracks that I was holding on to. And I wholeheartedly believe that you are capable of more and the things that you desire. If you long to change what you do or how you live or where you work or more, I'm telling you, it is possible. So today we get to talk about those passions and see how we can make the ones that you have, or maybe the ones that are tucked really down deep inside you, that they have a truth to them, that there is a reality of making those things come true for you. So why do you think we lose our passions or desires for something more? For many of you, like me, the demands of motherhood took over your life. Maybe the workplace has pulled you away from taking care of what you really want in your life, and you're so busy doing the work for other people that you've set aside those dreams. After you stepped into motherhood or full-time career or service job, you start to lose focus on what you wanted, and you start to settle, right? We start to settle at where we're at. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be content with where you're at, but what I'm talking about are the things that you once said that you were going to do, or that you would really love to do, but you've dismissed it because of where you're at in your life, or, no matter what those things might have been, because of work or obligations or family responsibilities, or maybe even that social pressure that's around you, your perceived idea of what you're supposed to do, are taking over. Even the things that you are doing might be really good things, but you've still pushed your passion aside. You've let them grow mold and dust, so to speak, right? We all have those things that we held on to at one point. Maybe you relate to this. You went to college and you thought you were going to change the world, or you thought you'd be great to achieve that career, and you'd have a spouse, you'd have those 2 kids, a house with a picket fence, and a dog named Spud. You expected to live a life full of wonderful things. Oh, and plus you were super healthy and you were fit, your kids loved and worshiped you, and everybody thought you were the one most wonderful hostess with the mostest. Okay, a little bit overboard, but you get it, right? We have those big dreams of what we thought life might be. I know that was just mostly a specific one that might be, what we see or what we think might be happening for us as we are young, or as we move into our, college age. We start seeing things for a little bit more of reality, but we still have those big dreams. When we were kids, the sky was a limit, right? We were going to be the famous singer, or the expert golfer, I don't know. You were going to be that movie star, right? You were going to do all those wonderful things. Nothing was in your way. You had no doubts. You had no fears. You just thought you would stand on top of the table and think you're a superhero, right? Because you had no inhibitions. You were not worried about the pressures that were around you. And we kind of lose that excitement or that passion or the dream because life comes at us. All of a sudden you realize you're 40 years old, your kids are about to leave the nest, and you're left with nothing but the house and the leftovers of a life that you didn't really ever think that was going to happen for yourself. You might feel lost, a little bit stuck, or not sure where to turn now, especially as you're moving into a transition phase. Like, what is all this for? What am I supposed to do now, right? I actually talked to a mom today, and we were talking about that because my daughter is soon going to be leaving our home into an apartment. And so that will be a different change for us in our lives. And so how will that affect me? Like, what had I not done some of the work that I have done on myself, I know that this would be a very, very difficult time. Now, I'm not saying that my heartstrings aren't going to be tugged a little bit, because it will be really hard to have her gone out of the house. Of course, exciting for her as well. But because I've stepped into this, I've started looking ahead of what my dreams are, what my passions are, what gets me excited. I know that I have some things that I get to be excited about as I'm stepping into this season. I know many of you might feel lost or a little bit stuck and you're not sure where to turn. You don't think your dreams are possible anymore. You've been dealt with life. You have all these things that you feel like you need to finish out your life, and it's just going to be how it is. There's no hope or dream in sight. But my friends, I want to tell you that it doesn't have to be like that. There is a better alternative than the status quo, stuck where you are currently living. You are capable and worthy of doing more. And if that's your desire to do so, you can do that. So today I want to help you regain your sight on what makes you sparkle. I want to help you see that the dreams you have set aside due to the obligations of work or family, or, what the society says you should or should not do. I want you to bring yourself back to life, put your passion that you had on hold for so long and start dreaming again, dreaming about the things that could be. Not only is it fun to dream, but it's also good for you. It's good for your mental health and overall well-being. It's never too late to pursue what you love. Psalm 37:4. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. This verse encourages us to pursue our passions because these desires are placed within us by God himself. When we reignite our passions, we experience more happiness, more fulfillment, a boost of creativity. Oh my goodness, it is so fun to be into creation and not catastrophe, assuming nothing will ever change, looking at that negative. That creative side is exciting. Howard Thurman said, "Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that, because what the world needs is people who have come alive." Don't you just love that? He goes on to say, pursuing our true passions wholeheartedly brings more light into both our own lives and the lives of others. Oh my goodness. Are you living wholeheartedly the passions you have for life? What could your passions that you have, how could that help somebody else? What could that do for somebody else? If you don't want to think about, oh, I just want this or I want that for me, what could you stepping into your passions do for someone else? What if you looked at it that way? So with all of this said, what are some practical ways that we can take steps into our dreams again, right? Because we have those dreams, maybe they're really tucked far down deep, and maybe you need to figure out what those dreams are again, or open your mind to that. But what are some steps we can do to move you toward that? So the first one is journal it out. Reflect on past interests, your hobbies, your dreams. Look at those things that are creative, that are in that space that you might have stuffed down under the rug, right? During all these crazy things that have happened in life, write it all down, even if it feels silly or way out of reach. Pretend you're that kid who has no inhibitions. Like I said, you're standing on the top of the table thinking they're a superhero, write it all down as you go. and you may see some patterns or themes that might lead you to what your true passions are now. Take that time, journal it out. I tell you, it's amazing when you just let it go. Don't stop and think about what you're writing. Just write it down. Okay. All right. Number two is start trying things out. Okay. So often, we fail to do anything, but we'll just dream. So some of us, our dreamers are not broken, as you would say it, right? We can dream all day long, but then we don't put anything into action. I want to encourage you to try out new activities or experiences and see what might click. What is bringing you joy as you experiment? There's no failure. It's just stepping stones on your journey. So have some fun. What are those things that you journaled down that you think maybe you want to try, or give it a try? It doesn't hurt to try. It's okay if it's not what you want and you decide, no, that's not really what my passion is or what I want to do. That's fine. That you have a new experience, a new story that you can tell someone else. And maybe your experience in trying it might help somebody else, as they might be wondering if they should try that. Okay, so we want to journal it out. We want to take some action. And number three, set yourself some goals. I know goals are talked about a lot on this podcast, but I think it's because that helps us put into action the things that we want to do. Set small, achievable goals to move toward what you want. Don't look at that big, huge goal post but look at those yard markers, those little movements, those inches on the field, or yard markers, right? Look at the ways that you can move forward and start moving forward with the goals that you have in place. Don't make such a big grandiose goal like, oh, I want to be a famous pop star. Well, that might not be the right goal for you, but maybe it would be, I want to sing at a venue in my area. So what does that pertain? Maybe like, okay, well, first I want to make sure that I have some songs that I can sing, so maybe it's practicing some songs, building up your repertoire. Maybe it's like now, maybe going to somebody else's party and say, hey, do you mind if I sing a couple songs, for the birthday party? I don't know. I have no idea how you would build that, but there is a way to do it, right? Over step by step, you can find ways to build to that bigger thing, that bigger goal that you have. Next one is get connected with others. Look for communities of people who have similar interests. Are you wanting to start a business? Oh my goodness, there are tons of women's networks out there. Do you want to up your fitness game? Check out a gym or a program near you. Try them out, see what fits. Not every gym is the same. Not every trainer is the same. Not every group is the same. Are you a stay-at-home mom who's looking to connect with other moms? And maybe you need to start a community, maybe do play dates at the park. You can be creative and rally others together to create the dreams you have and help them create together as well. Okay, so next one is learning something new. Did you know there's oodles of resources out there that can teach you almost anything? Do you want to start a business? So many courses can help you do that. Pick your genre and go find an expert, and they'll know what to do. Find a course that helps you narrow down your niche. Do you want to be an organizer? Do you know that there's this place called TikTok and YouTube that can teach you all of these things, and a ton of it, and it's free? Maybe always wanted to travel and maybe learn a language. Maybe learn the language before you go there. Find a course and start to learn the language and the culture. Find a Facebook group that talks about the place you want to go. The possibilities are endless. There are so many resources out there. So don't just sit there and wait and wish for something to happen. Step into what you want and take action. Okay, so does any of this excite you like it does for me? Oh my goodness, it is so fun to dream. Are you not there with me yet? The more you dive into creation, the more exciting it gets, and the more apt you are to step into action. It will build and become exciting as you start doing the work, as you start stepping in. Remember, Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." I've talked about this verse before, but I truly love it when it comes to looking at all that God has created for us to be and do in our lives, and that He has it figured out. So take those passions that are on your heart, those things that are like been stirring on in your mind. I know that they're there, even if they've been stuffed down really far. I know that they're there. So open that up, journal it out, take some action, try different things. Move into finding some accountability, finding some groups, other people that can do it with you. There are so many ways that we can step toward making some of these passions a reality in our lives. And they might be small little passions. They don't have to be big, grandiose passions, but step into something. See that you are worthy and capable of doing so much more if you want to. We get the opportunity to use the gifts and abilities to live our lives well. God equips us and He created us uniquely for the purposes and those dreams and passions that are just waiting for us to recognize them and be used. And we can be used for His glory. My friends, we've discussed why we lose sight of our passions, and then the importance of pursuing them and checking into them and discovering them, and then some practical steps to reignite them, right? I encourage you to take the first steps today towards rediscovering your journey. Journal that out. See what's in there. And remember, it's not too late to pursue what you love, okay? If you're looking for more resources or want to talk out what could be next for you, let me know. Send me a message or an email and let's connect. I'd love to sit in the space with others and help them dream of the what ifs that they could create in their lives. So send me a DM, send me an email. I read any email or message that you send me. So please do that. I'm here and I would love to have that time just to connect with you and see what's possible for you. My friends, thank you for joining me again today. I hope that you feel inspired to reignite your passions. As usual, if you found this podcast helpful, please like and follow and share it with others. I appreciate you taking the time to listen, and I look forward to hearing the passions you're going to ignite. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me as we walk towards this life of flourishing. I appreciate you taking the time to listen and would love, love, love for you to take a moment to subscribe to my podcast and maybe even leave a review. Likes and reviews like yours will allow my podcast to be seen by others and hopefully help them as they walk through their own journey of growth. So until next time, please remember that you are amazing, my friend, and you are meant to live a life full and flourishing. Take care.